is David Sparks, and I drive a 1993 Toyota MR2. So the first MR2 I ever saw was actually at a used car lot when I was with my friend who was looking for a car at the time, and he was looking for an old Celica Supra. And I didn't know a lot about cars back then. This is in high school, and he just asked me, what kind of car I wanted. And I just sort of looked around the lot and I saw this yellow MR2 Spider, and I said, that's the car I would want. It was right around that time that I started reading Initial D, and I'm sure a lot of people can identify with Initial D being a part of what brought them into car culture. And it was the same friend that introduced me to Initial D, and I read those and I saw an SW20, and it made me pretty excited about the car. One of the things I really like about the MR2 is just how unique it is. You don't see a lot of mid-engine cars out there on the road. If you do, they're usually high-end exotics with a few exceptions. But generally the MR2 is really the only affordable mid-engine car out there. So when I first started looking for the MR2 Spider was really out of my price range at the time. So I started looking at the first generation because it was the most affordable, but it was hard to find ones that were in good condition, and my dad really encouraged me to get something that was more reliable. So when I started looking at the second generation, I fell in love with it pretty quickly. I already had it kind of in the back of my mind from seeing it in Initial D, and I just love the styling of it. I think it's one of the best cars to come out of Japan in the 90s as far as styling goes. So I was fortunate enough to find a pretty clean chassis, and it was all stock. Nothing had been messed with. It's actually an NA chassis, but has since then been swapped with a Gen 4 3S-GTE. I do a lot of the small jobs and maintenance. I do my own oil changes, filters, that type of thing. Small upgrades like the exhaust. The big jobs are done by ETL Garage, and they're the ones that did the swap, and I couldn't be happier. It's a much more modern motor than other swaps that are done in the MR2, and it's a very, very strong motor. For me, if you're going to do something, you need to do it right in the first place. And I believe some of the best quality parts you can get for the MR2 are from TRD. And unfortunately nowadays TRD is pretty much just a brand name, but at the time when the MR2 was new, when they were making parts for it, TRD really put out some serious stuff. So it's sitting on TRD lowering springs with Coney yellow adjustable struts. I also have TRD front and rear strut braces, as well as TRD front and rear sway bars made of pure unobtainium. The rear one in particular can be quite hard to get a hold of. The most recent upgrade to the car would be my air-to-water intercooler. I wanted something that would allow me to keep the very quick throttle response, as well as have a lot of room to grow for high-end power. I daily drove the car for about 7 years. At this point, I now also have a 2013 Mazda 3, so I use that as my daily driver. It's a great, practical, reliable car. And the MR2 is pretty much my fun car now. So I take it out on the weekends, I drive it to a lot of shows and meets. If you attend a lot in the Southern California area, You've probably seen my car. I also do autocross with it, though I don't get out nearly as often as I would like. I plan to do more in the future. And another thing I like doing with it is taking up to the mountain roads. When I'm out there on the tow day, it kind of takes me back to when I first fell in love with driving. I love listening to the exhaust note as I shift through the gears and listening to the turbo. When I'm out there, I just feel free. For me, my MR2 is an old friend. I think that if you find a good car that you enjoy and you spend the time and invest yourself in the car, that you'll get a lot out of it.